Hey, Dr. Larsen here, and I have Mike with me, and he's got a pretty interesting story that we've been kind of going through over the last, I don't know, several months trying to figure things out with him. And he kind of made a turn here on his last visit with some of the things that we were doing, and we're just going to talk about that a little bit. So go ahead. What was it like? What happened?
Well, in the last year and a half, I've had a lot of ankle problems where I've had no stability in my ankle. So I went and seen a podiatrist, and they recommended going with this specialized brace or reconstructive surgery. So I took this, and I've been having a lot of problems with that. Then I came in and seen Brant last week, and he did some taping on my ankle with the kinesi tape to hold the ligaments in, and I can actually, a week later now, I've been able to run with it, and I could barely walk for the last year and a half.
Yeah, so he's had a pretty serious thing here. So if you look at this, this is what he's been wearing now because he can't, it's a hard plastic, all right? And he can't, so what happens is your arch collapses, right?
My arch collapses, and then the whole inside of my ankle and the bone shifts to the inside, which makes this leg almost an inch shorter than the other leg.
So as soon as he stands up, his arch wants to collapse and his whole ankle wants to roll inward. And it's been causing him a lot of pain at the ankle for sure.
Yep.
And then it starts to cause pain at the hip as well.
In the back.
And the back and everything else you can imagine. And what they wanted to do was actually saw through some of the bones, or that's one of the options. They don't necessarily want to do it, right? But one of the options is to saw through the bone and kind of reconstruct it, even though they said that the bones look good, right?
Yep.
So the ligaments are a little bit stretched on the inside. You had a previous dislocation of that ankle a long time ago?
Yep.
20, 30 years, something like that?
10 years ago, I dislocated it on the inside.
And he just put it back by himself and went on with life. So there's some repeated trauma that's happened to this ankle in the past. But last time I was trying to figure out what could we do to kind of stimulate his body, his brain, to make the correction and kind of hold that leg upright. So what we did was we used some of the taping technique, and it's a very different technique that we use. It's this kind of tape. It's not the kinesio tape that you maybe have seen. It's a little different therapy technique. Maybe I'll show it here on a different video. But what it's doing is it's actually stimulating his skin sensors to put information up his spinal cord, up into his brain here. And as soon as you stood up last time, you felt better already, right?
Mm-hmm.
His leg felt more stable. And I hear that time and time again, if you know how to do the right taping technique. So that's what we do at the office is we try to enhance your nervous system and make it function how it's supposed to. One way might be chiropractic adjustments. Another way might be neurological exercises. This way, it's using tape to actually stimulate nerve fibers and get his brain to recognize that it needs to contract this muscle here. And that's one reason why people have arches that fall and collapse inward here is because this muscle, or one of the muscles here, isn't working, and we need to kind of wake that up a little bit. So maybe I'll show some of the taping if we do some of the taping today. But it's been a good story so far. You're feeling a little better. Hopefully, we can maybe get out of this thing. That doesn't look too fun. And then at least get you away from the surgery so that doesn't happen.
That would be good.
Yeah. All right, we're back here with Mike, and we're going to do some testing on him. I want to show you how weak this right leg is, and then I'm going to show you this taping technique that we use on this muscle. Now, we actually had him rip off the old tape here, ripped off a lot of hair, but we'll redo this. So, first thing we're going to do is test some of the hip muscles because he's having pain there, mainly because everything is being distorted and his brain's trying to figure everything out. So push out to the side here. You can see how that one, it just kind of ratchets. It's not very strong. Push out here. But this side, I can really push, and he's got a lot of strength. Another one here is an outer muscle out here called the tensor fasciae lata. Push up and out right here. Same thing there. It's weak. This one is strong. If we do a quadriceps muscle, push up right here. That one's actually weak as well. And it very might well just be because he's getting incorrect information down in the ankle, transmitting up into the brain. So we're going to do it, the taping technique here. I just need to figure out where to do it. And it's right here. So if we hold his foot across this way, so hold your foot across that way, turn that way, yep. You can't really do that. It's very weak, unstable. I just heard it crack right here. And this is the spot right here that his brain needs to be stimulated to say this is where that tendon muscle is that goes to that goes to that muscle, or to that point in that test. So we have to stimulate him. First thing we do is get a little piece of tape here. It's got a flap in the middle because we have to use that for leverage. And I use a strong muscle, a strong arm muscle. Because again, you can use any muscle. You're just looking for where that weakness is in his sensory system. So if we use this, he's nice and strong here. If I touch up here, he's nice and strong. If I come down right on this spot, his arm wants to go weak because there's incorrect information coming from here. So I know where I have to put this piece of tape. It's kind of in a little bit different direction than last time. Now I need a second piece. I'm going to hook right on here because I need to be able to pull on this and give some sensory information. Just like if you're going to push on your skin, your brain knows what's going on. It knows which direction you're pushing, where you're touching. Same thing here. I'm pulling on his skin here. So it should be strong when I pull this way because his brain wanted that. Now if I pull too hard, it's going to go weak again. We're trying to heal up this leg. I'm not sure if you can see that through my arm, but so I'm just pulling here and I'm testing here. Now I'm pulling too hard. I got to back off to right there. And then I put it down. And we'll see what happens. This may or may not be the whole problem as far as hip muscles and leg, but hold your foot across that way. Yeah, he's definitely much more solid now. It doesn't want to... Last time I could feel it, it was real wishy-washy in here. And that's exactly what Mike can't have. You can't have this ankle collapse down like this. So if he pushes there, he's good. Push out here. And you can see how much it changes actually the hip muscles as well. That one does too. Push up right here. And just that one. So you can see how much your body runs off of the brain in neurology. If you have one part that's not working how it's supposed to, if it doesn't give the right information back up to the brain, when the brain fires back down, it creates uncoordinated activity and you get pain. You have hip pain, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's got hip pain. His ankle is way better, so we still have to get this hip to start working how it's supposed to. Hope that helps.